What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. I don't like a lot of fluff in my videos, so let's just get to it. All right, so if you go to the options menu here and you go to vibration function, I have turned this to 0. Now, the reason why I've done this, I'm going to explain all the settings I'm going to do. I'm going to try to be as fast as I can. I know that you guys don't want to waste any time. So I used to run vibration strength at 95, but since update 1.49, I find that there's this unnecessary stiffness that I feel in the cars. And when I turn that up, it makes me think there's understeer. And I feel like keeping that down to 0 takes away from the confusion on what you think the car is doing. So try this tip, try putting it at 0. Maybe that will help. Now, also going to our settings here, let's go to controller settings. I run 10-10. Okay. Now I said this on stream. I'm going to say it again. So I suggest running this between 7 and 10. Okay. That's if you have a direct drive base. Now, if you have a belt driven system or if you have a, G29, G27, I suggest putting this around 5, maybe 5.5 here, something like that. 5.5, 5.4. I don't think going over 5 or maybe 6 on a belt-driven system is necessary. Right around there should be good. But like I said, if you are on direct drive, I suggest 10-10 or 7-10. Now, moving on, let's go to assist settings. Assist settings now, this is a huge debate of Gran Turismo. Should I run weak? Should I run default? I run weak. I ran weak a week before, like on the update, and I still run it now. I find that when you have weak and you know how to brake, we're going to go over that in this video. I'm going to cover everything in this video. So if you want to get faster, this is what we're gonna get to it. Okay. So the reason why I run weak is because when you're approaching a turn and you hold the brake down and you lift the brake just slightly, the car will rotate more. On default, you're going to notice it seems to be a bit more stiff. It's more safe. You might be driving better, but I feel like for most cars running weak, you can get a little bit more of that rotation, and I think it's better. If you're a newer driver, just keep this on default. This setting is strictly for people that are probably A to A plus range. If you are a B driver and below, don't worry about it. Put it on default. Come back to this later. So I'm going to put this back to weak. Now, let's get to the settings on my wheelbase, because I know a lot of people want to see this. All right, let's go to this camera view. I got this set up for you guys. Now, okay, so this is what I'm running. I have a Fanatec DD1, okay? So it's a Fanatec Podium. This is 20 Newton meters of torque, okay? So that's why you're noticing the game. Remember, I'm running 10-10. So that's a lot of output that the game is putting out. So I need to reduce the force effects, the force feedback on this. Otherwise, I'm going to break my wrist. So let's go to the setup. I run sensitivity. This is your degree of rotation. So basically, how much you turn, this wheel, that's what this setting does. So the lower the value, when you turn just a little bit, it's going to turn a lot. Now, we're going to come back to this a little bit when we go on the track, okay? This is a really, really important setting for a variety of reasons. Once again, if you are below A, keep this on auto. So you would scroll all the way and just keep this in automatic. Don't worry about it. If you're like an A plus driver, A, and you're trying to get a little bit more time, I suggest changing this setting, maybe 490, 450, change it per car. Some cars maybe 550, maybe 600, but you need to be a little bit more experienced to tinker with this. If you don't want to think about it, auto's fine. Doing it manually is just for a little bit more refinement. Okay, let's move on. Next, force feedback. I have this at 23. All of you guys will be like, what are you doing? Why are you using 23% of your force feedback? Bro, I don't like heavy force feedback. I just want to have enough. This is still pretty stiff. This will throw me around. Remember, this is 20 Newton meters. This is more than that DD Extreme. So having this at 23 with 10, it's not light, okay? It's still pretty strong. So for you guys, if you have like a DD Pro or whatever it is that you have, just put 10-10 and just adjust this to the point where you can turn the wheel easily, but you can still feel a lot of force effects. You don't need to break your wrist. You don't need to do anything too much. As long as you can feel what the car is doing, you're good. We're not race car drivers. We're just playing a game. And keep in mind, I've done this before. I've broken one of my rims and I'm currently breaking this one. This rim is actually cracking with the settings that I have now. There's a little bit of a crack here. Why? Because the force feedback is so strong and I grip it tight, I'm starting to crack it. So the higher I go, if I put this to 40, I would break this probably in a week. And I'm not even joking. So keep in mind, you can break your hardware if you go too strong on this stuff. Force feedback scale, peak. I run this as maximum as I can. I believe that doing that is better. You're getting more detail. Natural damper, I have this off. Natural friction, off. Inertia, off. Interpolation, 3. Now, the reason why I do this, just like you see it says right there, fast, smooth force feedback. So I notice when I turn this off, what happens is it's too aggressive. Like the wheel itself becomes aggressive, like it's gonna break. It makes these weird noises, like I feel in the rim. Whenever I turn this up just to 3, it makes it smoother and more refined, and I just like the way it feels in the hand better. So that's why I use this setting. That's the only reason. I don't feel like there's any advantage. I just like the way the signal is portrayed to my hands, and that's why I use this. Force feedback, that's FEI, force feedback intensity. I run that at 100. Of course, you need that at 100. Your force effect, definitely want that at 100. Spring effect, this doesn't even apply to the game. You can just keep this off. It doesn't matter. Damper off. I am not a damper person. I don't like the mushy feel. If you want this to feel more realistic to like road cars, I do suggest running damper. Maybe on this setting over here, right here, this natural damper, I suggest putting this to maybe like 15 or so if you're doing like road cars and you want to get more of that natural feel. The settings that I'm giving you right now are the settings that I personally use. I have jumped in. I have not had one problem with this update. I can set top times. Like, really, it feels great. So it's up to you to use this, but a lot of people do like damper, so keep that in mind. And this is brake force. This is if you have a load cell. So I keep mine at 10 because I race in socks. That's just like how I prefer it. You can change this, depending on how you drive. Some people want this higher because with this new update that's going on, a lot of people are over braking. So if you have load cell brakes and you find yourself that you're locking up a lot, you may want to change, and you may want to increase that to, like, let's say, 20 to prevent you from locking up the brakes too much. One more thing before I forget, before we get back on the track. If you go over to your options and you go over to your steering control settings, pedal calibration, this is how I run it. I'm running everything kind of stock except this. I've changed these values to 0. I like the refinement of when I just, barely hit the brake, that it senses it. Like, I want it to recognize what I'm doing. Essentially, to me, when I see this and I move this up, it's more like a dead zone in a way. But I think that that's perfect the way it is, especially with the update. So now we're going to get on the track. I'm going to explain to you a lot of common mistakes that I've seen, and I'm going to show you how to fix those with the settings that I've just given you. All right, guys, so I figured showing you a replay example from a race that I had yesterday was the easiest way for me to make you understand. Okay, so I'm going to analyze this turn, and this applies to all braking points, okay? It's not just this scenario. I just want you to watch what I'm about to show you, take this in, and just apply it for every single track, every turn that you do, and just kind of understand that maybe this is a problem that you were having. Before, you could get away with this and it wouldn't really matter, but now you're starting to see a little bit more of a problem. It's being highlighted more with 1.49. So pay attention to this. I'm going to play it first, and then you're going to watch it and see if you pick it up, and then I'm going to talk about it. Okay, so watch him go through this turn. All right, now look, his tires are pretty good because he pitted a couple laps ago. Did you see that? All right, we're gonna go back. Now I'm gonna pick apart and show you exactly what just happened. That was tons of time lost right there, like a lot of time. So pay attention to this. Now look at season third. Okay, going here, look. Okay, so we are braking right now. Okay, this is good. Nothing wrong with this brake. Boom. He's holding the brake in first. Now look at that steering input. You see this? You guys should know what the steering input is. The little red dot. So you see a little meter, a little red dot. That shows that his steering input is in the middle right now. Regardless if you're using controller or wheel, whatever, his steering input's in the middle. Now watch this. Pause. He's turning right now. He's already turning, but look at his brake. He's full brake. He's turning that much, and he's full brake still. So right now he has it full brake and he's turning. So that car is sliding and it's stiff. He's trying to rotate as he's taking this turn. This is the problem that everyone is doing. Again, still doing it. Look how much further that red dot is. I'm going to keep pausing it. Now he's starting to lift because look, he's not hitting the corner properly. He's starting to go straight out and he's like, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to be facing this direction. I need to rotate. So now you're starting to see the rotation and he's trying to like snap it in. That's the problem. That's everyone's issue. If you go through this turn like this, let's just say you're going in third, right? Just like this. What you want to do is brake, and then you want to hold a gear longer. Like let's say you hold second, right? Let's say you're in third, go to second, hold it, and then release the brake and downshift into first to get that car to rotate and lift off that brake. You should be lifting off the brake before you start turning in. If you do that, he would have went through this turn carrying more speed. He could have lifted off, downshifted, rotated, smooth, easy acceleration out of the turn. And that's how you do it. That is the biggest mistake that everyone's making. Now, other stuff that you start seeing, I'm going to go at the beginning of this race. I'm going to show you really quick. I did notice this. This is a very good driver, by the way, but I want to show you this. This guy was fast. He was actually, I think his time was like a 2:01.1 or something like that for qualifying. So this is a good driver. And I'm going to show you something that a lot of people are doing right here. So this is, watch. This is happening to everyone. So this particular issue that you're seeing, guys, there's no learning to that. You just need to be a little bit easier when you're at an exit, and you need to realize when you're running over a curb in this game or you're getting a little bit sideways, you just got to be a little bit more careful getting on the accelerator. You can't just mash it like you used to. And this is because before we've been kind of spoiled with a lot of turns just flooring it, and then the car gets sideways a little bit and you can kind of grab it. Now it's just a little bit more picky. So just be a little bit more patient, you know, coming out of exit, pay attention to your braking, full brake, and then lift, downshift, turn in, you know. And as you start doing this and as you apply this, you're going to start becoming a better driver. And then this will get you better at, let's say you want to go to iRacing, you want to go to ACC or whatever it is that you want to do. This is definitely going to make you better. So anyway, guys, I hope you like the video. If you like these quick, straight to the point videos, let me know. Maybe I'll start doing guides again the same way. But anyway, until next time, I'll see you guys later. Take it easy, guys.